But I can say with a degree of confidence that the change that we witnessed in foreign policy, in trade policy, and in the entire economic system and the new arrangements which are coming into being in the last 9 years has been somewhat extraordinary. Let me just start by sharing a few statistics with you, and then I have a few other points to make, and then I'd be happy to have a discussion. First of all, today in 2023, if you look at the surveys by the World Bank, if you look at the surveys by the IMF, they all describe India as the bright spot in the global economy. India will contribute 15% of global growth in 2023 as per the IMF. The rate of growth which is forecast for India in the fiscal year 23-24 is roughly ranging between 6.1% and 6.5%. The IMF says 6.1%, the World Bank says 6.3%, the RBI says 6.5%. By the end of 2023, India will be roughly a $3.8 trillion economy. In 2014, which I'm taking as a reference point because we are looking at 9 years of the Modi government, our GDP was little over $2 trillion. And as is well known, we have moved from 2014, when we were the 10th largest economy in the world, to being the 5th largest economy in the world today, overtaking, by the way, the United Kingdom, which had 190 years of a particular kind of domination. But it's not the facts which are staring us in the face, but I think the confidence with which the Honorable Prime Minister stated, I think it was the opening of the ITPO, when he said that, and I was deeply, overcome with emotion. He said, by the time we finish our third term, or during our third term, we will be the third largest economy in the world. Earlier, when I joined the Foreign Service in 1974, it was very fashionable for everyone to say, foreign policy also has economic content, which meant that you had a second secretary level or a first secretary level officer in a mission, I know KP is smiling, dealing with economic affairs, and the ambassador, if he had time from important political work, he would also devote his time to a little bit of economic diplomacy. Today, there is a fundamental reordering of that. Today, foreign policy, trade policy, domestic policy, all not only appears to be, but is being implemented with a view to benefiting the Indian citizen, India and the world. So I was just saying, he said, what are we looking at here? Modi-led India brings growth, global goods and gratitude. Let me give you an example. When the Honorable Prime Minister travels outside, the Prime Minister of Australia, Albanese, calls him boss. The kind of respect with which he is received in Papua New Guinea by their Prime Minister, the Swabhiman, Seva, Vaccine Maitri. You see, at the end of the day, no matter which way you look at it, a leader and a country led by a leader with broad shoulders, a tall leader, will be judged not how the country fares in normal times, but how a country responds to challenges. And I believe that the pandemic challenge was once in a lifetime kind of challenge. Because as I keep saying, I was in Geneva and New York heading the Indian missions to the UN when we dealt with SARS, Ebola, H1N1. But the pandemic which we had to face in the beginning of 2020 was more like the Spanish flu of 1918, which is resulting in devastation of an unprecedented order. And look what happened. Let me talk about the vaccine and the health sector part of it. When the pandemic broke out, our health sector did not even have the basics like PPE kits, oxygen masks, etc. We not only revamped that, a domestic vaccine production capacity in the public sector which existed in the previous years was dismantled between 2010 and 14. And from scratch, one, through a private sector research done in Oxford, AstraZeneca vaccine manufactured under license in Pune, and another purely domestic, and we were able to supply what, in excess of 224 crore doses of vaccine virtually free. And yesterday, I think 1 or 2 days ago, I heard somebody in the public recalling that Delhi has a population, I think of about 2 crores, UP has a population of 20 crores, and somebody in heading Delhi was intending for more oxygen than UP was intending. So, but forget about what we did inside, what we did for the rest of the world. 193 countries are there as per my recollection of UN ranking. I think we must have supplied vaccines either free or under preferential commercial rates to what, 120 countries or so. Now, a country which is able to do that domestically and then supply, so to me that is Seva, Vaccine Maitri.